Welcome to Food for the Soul presents Intimate Conversations with T. I'm your host, Talitha Kume Burris, and we would like to welcome you to our show. And today we have guest, Mr. OG, and I call it the story of OG. So our story of an OG. That's what I wanted to call it, the story of an OG, because I love your name, OG. So what does OG stand for?
A lot of people say it's for original gangster, but it's not. It's not. Nah. I mean, my name is Orlando Glenn, so that's my name. OG is my initial, and I've been OG since birth, I guess.
Man, and do you get a lot of people calling you OG? Like, you know, remember the movie, was it South Central?
OG Bobby
Johnson, man. Do they call you that all the time?
That's my jam.
See? OG Bobby Johnson? Or they call you triple OG?
The big homie, all that, yeah.
Yes. I love that. I was so excited that you allowed us to interview you tonight because I really, really want to find out a little bit about your story.
Well, thank you. It's an opportunity.
And find out how you got to where you are. And so first, I want to talk about you guys. I had a chance to meet Triple OG. I had a chance to meet him at the Urban Ski Weekend. And when I tell you guys, it was an awesome time. The experience of seeing a lot of us
black entrepreneurs.
Yes, black entrepreneurs together, all of us together, and we're
networking.
We're not fighting.
Supporting.
You know, we're supporting each other, and we're able.
Fun.
Yes, and we're having fun and able to turn up and still get our chill on was amazing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That was Super Bowl weekend, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. So
is it? Is it really? And it was for me too. And like I said, I used to party back in the day. I don't party a whole lot anymore, so I was real nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. I didn't know. You know.
Well, shout out to the homegirl Kasha Brown.
Yeah, shout out Kasha Brown
for making it happen. Yeah, inviting us.
Yeah. And Urban Stylez. I'm getting them mixed up. Urban Stylez. Your company was in the house, and that was the reason why you were there representing.
Yes.
Because you got a chance to be on the runway.
It fit perfectly. Urban Ski Weekend. Urban Stylez. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't it?
It fit perfectly. So yeah, we got a chance to, showcase some pieces and get a chance to meet a lot of new faces and network and get the name and brand out there.
Absolutely, and I think your pieces were amazing, and we'll talk about that later. But what I want to know is, tell us about your upbringing and your family life growing up. What was it like growing up, OG?
I'm originally from like Shreveport, Louisiana, but I moved to Texas at about 14 years old, and basically went to school in the Garland, Richardson area. Played a little football. Went off to college. Didn't graduate, but I did get some schooling. And from that point, I kind of made some bad decisions. But prior to that, my mom raised me. My dad's, his family was involved in my life, so I basically had support from both sides of the family. And 19 years old, I kind of made some left turns, and it altered my life. But by the grace of God, I'm still here.
What were those bad decisions, or what do you feel the decisions were that led you to the altering of your life?
If you are a real leader, you do not do anything that other people do.
Okay.
And sometimes I call myself a leader, but in actuality, I was a follower to a degree. And being involved with street activities, illegal activities, all it takes is one time for you to get caught. And once that happens, you either have to pay your way out of it or go do the time, you know what I mean? So, those decisions led me to be in a situation where, I was separated from my family and, had to learn how to, live in society without being, on the wrong side of the law.
So do you feel like even when you were practicing those activities, do you really feel like you were doing it because everybody else was doing it, or you were doing it really for the come up and because you had the entrepreneur spirit all along? In the beginning,
it was like, I could say we was doing this as a group, but I saw the money. And basically, there's a story behind me going to prison, getting in the situation and coming out of prison, an educated entrepreneur. Basically, you change your product, you change your, it's the art of hustle, the same thing, the guy Yo Gotti says. You know, it's the art of hustle. You switch the game. And in the state of Texas, there's almost 200,000 inmates. There's 120 prisons here. You know what I'm saying? Some of those prisons hold 7, some of them hold 10,000 inmates. And only 2% of those inmates qualified to go through a program that I went through, you know, by choice. I mean, I was selected, but I had to actually want to participate. And they basically ask you to leave your entire prison mentality behind to come join this program to hone your entrepreneurship skills, because most of the people that are in prison are usually gang members, gang leaders, organized crime members, you know what I'm saying? They know how to make money, know how to count, they know how to assign duties, they know how to play, you know, the delegation boss role. Yeah, the delegation boss role. And like I said, only 2% of the inmates in the state of Texas even qualified to be looked at, you know what I mean? So I was one of those. The opportunity came. I was really trying to get home the best I can, you know what I mean? Because while in prison, you know, some things happened on the outside with my family that made my entire stay, you know, worse for me. So I was just trying to better myself, get an education, get some fat on my brain so I can come home and be a different person. And it was called Prison Entrepreneurship Program. I went through that. It's a nonprofit organization funded by Warren Buffett, George Bush, you know, and some other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's I heard you speaking on, like,
yes, the Republicans did something good. Republicans did, they helped my OG.
So I mean, like, you know, I heard you speak on that, like, well, you know, there's but it was an opportunity to sit in front of millionaires like that were free world entrepreneurs that would come inside the prison, talk to us, give us ideas, motivation. What's it called? BCP, business plan competition, like a Shark Tank. If you know, you get a chance to pitch these guys, if they like your idea or whatever, they supported you on the outside. But this is network on the outside also, and it's for the inmates coming home to be, you know, reacclimated into society as well. So there's some things that are out there. We just don't always get a chance to be a part of it. Even though I was in that situation, everybody in their situation didn't even get looked at based on the nature of your crime and your background. You know what I'm saying? Like, why were you in prison in the first place? Oh, you were selling drugs, or you were, you know, making money, and they see that. You know, you were a gang leader, so you call shots. You know, and I'm not saying me, but that's the kind of people that they looked at and screened to go in. And you know, some of those people chose to remain in that lifestyle inside and didn't go to the program. Some did. I chose to use the program to get up out of there and come home.
I love that story, and I didn't even know about the prisons and the inmates and how many prisons are here in Texas and all of that stuff. So that is really, that's unbelievable that you were able to be chosen out of that 2%, and then you were able to come out and to better your life off of a bad decision.
Well,
weird, yeah.
Anytime there's always good and bad, and there's always bad and good. So, anytime you're in a bad, you want to try to make the best of the situation. So like I said, I stayed busy. I kept a book in my hand, you know what I mean? I really just tried to figure out a different way so that once I did come home, I would be able to stay out. Because the entire motivation behind the program is to reduce the recidivism rate, you know? Like, if one person goes, there's a 60-70% chance he's coming back. It's really higher than that. It's like a 97-98% chance, you know what I'm saying? Like, at that time. So that was the number that was presented to us. It was like only 2 or 3% of these people are gonna stay out of prison. And
so with that story, do you believe in God, or do you believe in a higher power? Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I grew up in the church. I mean, I heard you speaking on the Bible Belt, you know, the Southern Christianity. My grandmother and grandfather, you know, were strong in the church. As an adult now, I mean, I'm able to make my own decision and have my own intuition about spirituality, you know what I mean? So it's not what my grandmother taught me anymore, it's what I feel and experience now. I've been in some dark places, you know what I'm saying? And when I say dark places, a lot of people don't shake back, and I've had the opportunity to shake back. I mean, like, more than once, and that's the crazy part about it. I mean, like, the people who really know me, the story is crazy, because going to prison, being on the streets and as a hustler or whatever, you usually have a demise that's gonna get you one or two places, you know, with either a bunch of time or dead. You know what I'm saying? So I got a little bit of time. I've had some scrapes with death, so that allowed me to feel like, you know you're supposed to be gone. We're gonna put you here again, give you an opportunity, or this time could have ended your life as far as being away. We're just gonna give you a little bit of time to change, your mentality. Things occur. Things occur like close to death incidents while driving. Anything, what I mean. Something has to be controlling this energy that's here.
So would you say that was a life-changing moment in your life, or would you say something else happened that was more traumatic than that made you say, you know what, this is definitely not the way I'm supposed to be going?
And
or was it just
it's funny you even asked that question, because like I stopped myself from saying what the next situation was. 2008, October. About October 26, 2008, I get a call from, I was in prison, I get a call from one of the lieutenants or commanders or whatever to come to the front office or whatever, and they sat me down and it was like, do you know, no, they said your wife, and at the time I'm like, I'm not married, I'm not married, and they said the mother of your kids, and I said, what about her? They said, sit down. And I was like, what's up? So I called my auntie that was in Shreveport on a speakerphone call. And she said, she's gone. And I was like, who? Who are you talking about? And it's like, Tina, she passed away, she died, So now, I got this letter October 26th saying she was sick. I wrote a letter back to her by the 28th. You understand what I'm saying? She had been to the hospital. They said, she was like heart palpitations or something like that. They really didn't really know what was wrong with her. But long story short, she made a visit to the hospital. She was released. And no trip back to the hospital. During the time I wrote that letter, she never got it. By November 5th, she passed away. And it was from, it was a cancer, spindle cell sarcoma. It was a soft tissue cancer in her back. She knew nothing about it. 35 years old, you know what I'm saying? We got 6 kids, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. 3 girls, 3 boys. So I'm sitting in prison with all my children out here in the free world while I'm in there making commissary, you know what I'm saying? Getting my money away to the state of Texas, my time. And that was the moment that I knew something had to be, had to change within me. I mean, like, it's messed up that it took for her to die for me to become a better person. You know what I'm saying? And I wrestle with that now, because it's like, it's a shoulder of guilt that I carry, you know what I'm saying, in regards to that. But
yeah. Let's change the directions a little bit. Let's talk about your clothing boutique. Why did you decide to do a boutique? Out of all the businesses that you could have done, why did you decide to go with the boutique?
I love to dress, and I've always been a dresser. So, like, when I was making money in the streets, I always wore the best stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's real right now.
Okay.
So, you got me.
I got you.
Yeah. I always wore good clothes, and I got turned on to some people that were getting shoes that were bootleg knockoffs, like the Evisu jeans and all this stuff coming from New York, and I ended up start selling it out of the trunk of my car. I didn't think that would be something I would do, but while I was down there in prison, I had the business plan competition. I had to write some type of plan out to present to the outside entrepreneurs that were there as part of my participation in the program. That pitch wasn't clothing; it was another business, but I used that same model. Like the same legitimate business plan you would present to a bank or to a nonprofit organization to try to get funding, to help yourself. I kept that model, just changed the product, used projections, figured what if I invest this, how much could I make off of this? Based on the grind, I really had to get out there and move the units, you know what I mean? So I knew a lot of people, and I really didn't make any money with the people that I knew.
Okay. Yeah.
After about a year and a half or 2 years of seeing that the people around me that I opened my business for, that I thought would support, it didn't happen for me.
We know how that goes.
I relocated. And once I relocated, I met people that I don't know that only wanted what I had, you know what I'm saying, which was the clothing. And that allowed me to actually see the money, the profit, the growth in the business. I mean, each year it's increased, but you know, when you deal with people that you really know, sometimes they're biased, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm not gonna use that word hate. I'm gonna say biased.
Yeah,
you
they're
know
not
what I'm saying?
haters, they're biased.
You know, because like that same, you know, dress I may have, but you'll rather go to a big store and get it. You know what I mean?
Because
it came from a big store, yeah. You know,
Same thing.
and that's I deal with that. I deal with it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna break that mold. They're gonna understand that you'll be able to get the same thing, same price,
same quality,
or better.
Yes.
Right here from your people. And at this time and age, that's what we need to be doing.
Absolutely.
Building each other
We need to
up.
be spending money with us. So we're about to take a break really quick, and then we will be back in a few minutes. We are back, and what I wanted to ask you, OG, was what would you say to an up-and-coming entrepreneur with the struggles and triumphs that you have experienced now that you know the game? What would you say to somebody trying to get into any type of business?
First of all, measure your risk over your reward, you know. Is it worth your time even doing it? You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of financing is hard to find for people who don't really have money in their pockets. So you're gonna have to use what I call, what was taught to me is called bootstrap financing.
Okay.
That's when you get out there and you hit the block. You work, you network, you spend time meeting people and getting whatever it is, your service, good or product out there. You have to spend time doing that and do some research on getting the money to help you. I mean, because there's nonprofit organizations out here right now. If you have a decent credit score and a legitimate business plan, they'll give you startup capital or working capital. If you're already in business and have collateral to show, you know, and the ability to pay, you know, a minimum payment back each month, they'll give you money as long as they can draft their payment each month out of your account. I did this. I'm telling you, it works. I did this for 5 years.
And did it help build your credit as well?
Listen,
Okay.
I got a $5,000 loan from a nonprofit organization. I paid it back. And I used the title of my pickup truck. The same truck I'm driving right now with the wrap on it, the same truck. And I paid that loan back, got another one, paid it back. And after that, you become bankable. Once you become bankable, you can go into the bank and you can present your...
Bankable.
Yeah, you can present your
business plan.
Your confidential, confidential financial statement, which is your net worth, what you've done, what you've created, your profile. You take that to the bank and you get money against it based on your payment history. I didn't miss a payment, you know, for 5 years. So they pretty much give you whatever you can handle. I mean, so I would suggest, you know, find you a small nonprofit organization to get you some money from, pay the people back, build your credit up, become bankable. There's some 444, some Jay-Z type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just become bankable. That way you'll have the ability to solicit your profile to any bank in the country, you know what I'm saying, to get some money for your business.
And what's crazy, before we get to my last two questions, what's funny is because everything you're saying, like you were talking about with the program that was in prison, do you not feel like the knowledge that you have with so many people that are out here in the streets doing illegal activities, that this type of knowledge would benefit them and they would be able to change their whole lives around and not have to look over their shoulders every 5 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Like if there was a program to say, hey, look, y'all, we can legitimize this right here. And I'm being really truthful and real because it seems like the business sense is there.
I'm already moving in that direction right now.
And I can hear it. I can hear it.
And it's funny you say that because I get kids in my area that come in, they talk to me, they take pictures with me, you know what I'm saying? They share my page, children, 7th graders, 8th graders, you know what I mean? And that's where it starts, first of all, you know what I mean? I'm not their daddy. I don't know these kids. These kids just, I'm pretty much in the ghetto, selling clothes, something probably they never would expect a black man to be doing. Those stores are probably supposed to be owned by a white man or another nationality. So it's like not a neighborhood hero or nothing like that, but it gives them something to look up to, you know what I mean? And they come in and they talk to me. So it starts there with the kids, you know what I mean? You spend time with them, get them foundated, whatever you can do to educate them and based on age group and mental capacity as far as what level they are in school or where they're going to college or going to high school, you know, you prepare them for that based on what you've done in your life, and just, you know, give them the game and hope they hold on to it.
And it doesn't hurt that you are cool as hell and you're a triple OG, so they're like, oh yeah, this dude is cool, so I'll listen to him. I'm saying, you know, you're not stuffy, so they're not looking at you like, you can't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? They're really, really looking up to you. So my last question is, my next to last question is, we were talking about voting on our last week's show, and so my question is, can you vote as an ex-convict? Can you vote?
As long as
the laws have.
You can vote.
You can? Okay.
As long as you're not on probation or parole. You know, like if you have a probation, you can't vote. If you go to prison and get out on parole, you have to complete that before you're allowed to. Yeah. Passport, you can get passport, you can travel.
Okay.
As soon as my parole was over, I went straight to London. I flew out of the country just to go do it. You know, you have to go live. Go do it.
Go do it. Go do it. So I wanted to know that because I always thought that after you've gone to prison, they strip your voting.
I think a while back it was like that. You couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
So
but
they've changed the law.
I think it's been changed. I mean, I know after a certain amount of time, if you're not on probation or parole, you're able to vote. You're able to get a passport. I've done both.
Great. Well, this conversation has been totally awesome, totally amazing. My last question is, where can our viewers find your shop? Where are you located? And what are your social media links? And how can we be down with Urban Stylez?
We are at 2711 South Buckner, Suite 200. I always tell you, just pull up and get served, man. We're on Instagram at urbanstyles_214. Facebook as well, and website is Shop Urban Styles with a Z. That's www.shopurbanstyles with a Z.
Urban Styles with a Z. Well, OG, I want to thank you so much for being on the show and being so raw about your story. I'm sorry you had to get the Yeti. Talking about your challenges.
But see, I knew it. I said, she gonna put me on.
You knew I was gonna do it. It's intimate conversations, y'all. It wouldn't be nothing if I really didn't get down to nitty gritty. But I'm glad you shared the story.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you shared the story because I know that was a turning point for you, and I know that she is up there, what's her name, Tina, that she is up there in heaven, smiling down on you. So y'all remember to go check OG out, Triple OG at Urban Styles, URBANSTYLEZ. And we want to thank you for tuning in to Food for the Soul presents Intimate Conversations with T. I'm your host, Talitha Kume Burris. Tune in next week to catch Truth in the Treble with our special guest artist rapper, Star K. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. And remember, tears are words that need to be written. So share your story. Someone may need to hear.
Amen.
Good night.